Paul Burr was still at school when he bought his first ever Greyhound after an early introduction to the breed by his uncle. With childhood sweetheart Penny, the couple are now completely dedicated to their dogs.
In 1984, I decided to go to Yarmouth Stadium just to have a look at the Greyhound sale. I came home with a dog.
You were 14 at this time?
14 at the time, yes, still at school, and no intention of buying a dog, but I did. The dog was called Manor Donegal. I'll never forget it. Brought it home with my uncle, put it in the kennels, and from that day till now I've been hooked on the sport.
And your uncle played a bit of a part in that, didn't he?
Yes, he used to have a permit licence then. We used to have about 4 dogs in the kennels. We used to live right by the racetrack at Snetterton, where the motor racing circuit is, where we used to exercise the dogs. And night and morning before school I used to be out there walking, giving them their breakfast. Off to school I went, came home, same routine, took the dogs out for a walk, give them their evening meal, and that's where it's all stemmed from.
And Penny, you've been with Paul from back in those days, the school days. So have you always been into greyhounds because of this as well?
Yeah, I do. Obviously he was into it more than I was, but you see I used to go to school, whereas he didn't, because he used to try come home and he had the dogs to sort out. But yeah, so I do like it. I got involved a bit more a bit later.
And you were running greyhounds, not making any money, so you realised that you needed to go and do something to go and make some money, basically. So you actually gave up for a while and set up a business.
I did, yes. I got out of training greyhounds for about 12 years because I found at the end of the month I was doing 70, 80 hours of the week, but at the end of the month there was still no money there. And I thought, I don't want to go through life having nothing, working hard but having nothing. So I decided to own the dogs, give them a training licence up, and that's what I done. Started my business up as a market gardener, which I done. Started to sell plants from the gate to the boot sales, stem to the markets, and the business grew and grew and grew. I concentrated on that for 12 years, committed myself to it, and Penny did as well, until we bought the house where we are now, and then we decided to build a kennel block and start up again. I never thought I would have 30 dogs again, though. I must admit, we started off with 1, turned to 2, turned to 4, turned to 8, and as you know, we have 30 here at the minute.
And really all this and the greyhounds wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your nursery business?
No, it wouldn't, no. The greyhounds are a hobby to me. I don't get anything out of them myself. I don't want to get anything out of them myself. I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I do have a good business, and I enjoy running my business, but I also enjoy running with the greyhounds. And I'm at a time of life now where I think, well, why not? Hey ho, nobody knows how long we're here. We're going to enjoy it.
I really like the kennels themselves. I love the way that the dogs can see through from top to bottom, nice big, loads of bedding, centrally heated, air conditioned. They're ideal, aren't they?
Yes, they are, dear, yes. I'm afraid I'm one of these people that when I decide to do something, I don't do it in any half measures. I do it properly. And I said to Penny, I would do a kennel block, but I will do it the right way. It cost me a lot of money to put the kennel block up in the first place, but to me that's money well spent. To see the joy on Penny's face every morning when she goes out there, I mean, that means more to me than any amount of money.
And Penny, you guys absolutely love your greyhounds, probably more than the racing itself. You really love your dogs. I know you'd have a house full of greyhounds if you could, but at the moment just the one in the house, Penny's Pong, who many of our viewers will remember from her racing days, particularly at Henlow. You guys owned her.
Yeah, she was very good. She had such good early pace. She was a really good sprinter, and so she loved Henlow, the sprint at Henlow, and she loved the 400 at Romford as well. She ran a lot of races there, and she was a little cracker.
And now
really
a very chilled out pet. Lovely here in the house to see her stay, but a bit of doggy heaven here, I would say. Really nice big paddocks you've got, first of all, where they can just stretch their legs and be dogs, really.
Yeah, they love it. When you put them out in the morning, some go out on a walk straight away, the rest go out in the paddocks first to start with, and they just bound about, and it's like all free, you know, skipping about, wagging their tails. They're happy.
All your greyhounds get walks regularly, twice a day in fact, all of them?
Yeah, all of them, even the ones that are retired or the ones that are coming back from injury, they all get treated the same.
And why do you think that's so important, the walking, as opposed to just putting them out in the paddock?
Well, they just get bored walking around the paddock. You'd get bored walking around the paddock. They go for a nice long walk and they see things and they sniff different sniffs and they just love it. They're happy. It's just much nicer for them. They don't want to be cooped up in a kennel all day, do they?
And tell us about the feeding, because you're pretty much in charge of that, aren't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah. So we do have 3 different types of biscuits we use. We have the Gain 20 and 28 and some Australian for some of the ones with more sensitive stomachs. And I have a steamed veg every day for them and cooked meat for them. In the winter time they have gravy. all nice bits just to make it nicer for them.
And you really enjoy looking after the dogs. I
Yeah.
can see that in you here.
They do, yeah. They have a nice cereal for breakfast and things like that, and they get apple chopped up in it, and
They're spoiled.
they are spoiled. They get a treat after breakfast every morning, and now they get a gravy bone at bedtime every night.
And
as
all
well,
I get
so-
is a cheese sandwich.
But the care really shows, Paul, and it's the same for you. You said that really you prefer being here at the kennels and this side of it to the actual racing.
Yes, I get a lot of pleasure out of curing injuries, and that dog then to go back on that track and winning that race. I'm not a gambler. I never have been a gambler. I just get so much pleasure out of a dog winning the race. I don't care whether it's an A7 or an A1. I just for some strange reason, I have got such strange ways, I just get a lot of pleasure out of that dog winning.
And you treat them all here yourself as well. I've seen the treatment equipment, and you used to go to the best and sort of taught yourself a bit as well.
Yes, I did. Yes, I've had a little bit of help along the way to pinpoint niggles, as in strained muscles, torn muscles, and yes, I do most of the injuries myself.
And you've increased your numbers up to about 30 this year. So you've got some help in. You've got your uncle who's responsible for all this in the first place, going back all those years. He helps you out, and also a new member of staff this year.
Yes, Nikki came with us last year because she just liked working with animals. She came here for about a month before we actually took Nikki on, and she bonded well with Penny. She used to take the dogs for the walk, and the dogs liked her. So I offered her the job in December last year, and she started with us in January.
And it's worked out well.
Yes, it has. Yeah, all through the cold spell when we had the beast of the east and all the wet and windy weather we had, she never complained once, and that means a lot to us because them dogs do come out twice a day. They do get walked twice a day. I know some people say it and don't do it. We do that. No matter what the weather, them dogs have a good walk twice a day.
We keep it going all the time, don't we? There's always something to do. Always something to do.
Yes, we're never looking for a job here because obviously we have busy times when I'm over the nursery for longer hours, where the bedding plants are about, when the winter pairs are about. Christmas time's another big period for us. We do lots and lots of holly reeves, which we wholesale to all over East Anglia, and then basically Penny and Nikki do the day-to-day routine care of the dogs.
How much do you enjoy getting up in the mornings and getting out to those dogs?
I'm a morning person. I always have been. You can ask Penny at 5:30 in the morning. I am wide awake, but I got to admit it. 9 o'clock at night, I'm half asleep.
And for you, Penny, what I want to know is, give it sort of 3 or 4 years. If I come back here, how many dogs are you going to have in the house? How many greyhounds in the house?
I might have another 4 or 5 greyhounds, and I might be minus a husband. He'll be in the shed. There might be a spare kennel out there for him. He can go there. They're centrally heated, so he'll be all right.
While you're going, I'll end up in the kennels.
Don't tempt me.